I got a few memories of the hunts that I did with my dad. The most memories I had was with my boys. I guess my dad, that's the way my dad teached me, and then when I was with my boys when they were just 8 years old. And the were the oldest boy I had, he was 11. Second one was 8. Two of them caught their first bears on 8 years old. And those were the memories I had, the best memories I had with my boys. But nowadays it's some days you go polar bear hunting sometimes, but now it's a little different the way we used to hunt, I guess. We have to look for bigger animals like males. That's why it's a lot harder sometimes. You see a few bears sometimes, but there are no males, no big males. So we try to find big males. That's for the sports hunters, yeah. We try to hunt bears that are healthy. If we can find enough bears, that's what we try to look for. It's the healthy bears. But we can almost shoot anything, any kind of bears, but without the cubs. As long as there's no cubs with them, okay. That's what we used to shoot. We just that's what my dad used to worry about, the cubs, not to shoot any bears with the cubs. Yeah. Before that, I guess my parents they shoot even the cubs, because they had to use them for clothing and stuff. That's what they used to shoot before the quotas came. So I've seen little cubs on a sled that my grandfather used to take home. Yeah, that's the way it was. But after the quotas, we were told not to shoot any bears with the cubs. There's quite a few on the island here that they used to hunt the polar bears in the den. Sometimes it's a lot easier, I guess, but you got to look for the polar bear in the dens, because you can find a hole in a den, but it's most of the time they're empty. You use a harpoon. Okay. Use the harpoon and look for see if there's any bears inside the den. Sometimes you can see them on a hill where there's quite a bit of snow, where they've been digging the den. That's where you can find them. You look for dens where they dig, and then from there you go up with the harpoon and see if there's anything in there. And if there's something in there, your harpoon sometimes gets stuck in the hole. You could see the nose, the head, the hole right here, and the head was just going like that. And then the head was just coming up to the hole, like real slow, just going up. And then when the nose started coming out, that's when my grandfather shot the bear, because he knew it was, he said there's a bear in there, but he said it was all alone. I don't know how he knew it was alone, but and then when we opened the bear den, I thought it was going to be like a real high, great big den, but it was just a little, maybe about 2 feet high, and not very big. The small, about 7 by 7 or something like that, little, and it was only about 2 feet. I guess the ones with the cubs, I heard they got bigger dens, higher dens. We try to find the tracks. Most of the time we find the tracks. We follow the tracks, sometimes for days, couple days, because it's not all smooth as you go by the rough. Most of the time we go rough, and then after we get the bear, we find the big bear. That's when the hunter shoots the bear. If I tell them to shoot it, sometimes they don't want to shoot it, so they want to go look for a bigger one. Yeah, sometimes most of the time we find a bigger one. Yes, sometimes they have only one tag each. Yep. and then there was about, sometimes it would be four people hunting. And then in those days, they used to get them sometimes in a day, all 4 bears in a day. After we get these bears, we cut out the meat. Sometimes we leave some of the meat that we're not going to have, but most of the meat we take home. Some of the guts and there's some part that have not much meat on them. Yeah, the backbones. Sometimes we leave them, but most of the ribs we used to take all the ribs. Most of the time we just take the quarters, the big parts, the meaty parts, because we have quite a few machines.
Yeah.
But you can take most of them, like the whole meat, but some carcasses you just leave. Sometimes you shoot the bear and then those bloody parts, that's what they leave. Yeah, and because you use the machine, sometimes you have to take what you can get.
Yeah.
And that's way over 100 miles, so that's what you do. And then after we get home, the people in town that want polar bear meat, that's when they used to go get polar bear. In those days, they used to take all the meat because they were there. The whole camp was, most of the time, the whole camp was down, not in town here. They're out on the land. Mm-hmm. And then when they're out there, they just take the whole meat. In those days, because they used them for dog meat, dog food, and everything that they're not going to use. They give them all to the dog for the dogs. Oh yeah, it was. In those days, when that happened, yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, because I started teaching my kids, and they were starting to get older, and they love hunting polar bears. That's what we used to do. And when that happened, it really kind of affected a few hunters in town here. Mm-hmm. And then there's no, like we used to buy machines, snow machines, outboard in boats with those polar bear hides. Yep. That's how we used to make our living on hunting and fishing. So that was, when that happened, that was pretty bad. Not just for me, for my kids. Mm. Yeah, there was nothing left for polar bear hunts here. Yeah. That's what my kids used to talk about. They talk about more polar bears than whatever they hunt, like caribou, muskox. But that polar bear hunt was their most memorable hunts they used to have. Yeah. But caribou, see, and they hunt caribou, it's not the same as hunting polar bear. Because I guess they shot quite a bit of caribous before. But polar bears, maybe once a year they used to shoot a bear. But now they haven't shoot bears for quite a few years now. Last spring we went to Tullow Rock, but we had problem with the machine, so we had to go back. I'm not too sure, but I don't know, but there's more bears. Used to be a lot more bears nowadays than quite a few years back. I'm not sure how to put it, but there's not too many people that go out polar bear hunting unless if the bears were a lot more higher price. I guess a lot of them would be going out hunting, but I'm not sure how. If we could get more tags, would be a lot better, but for us Inuit, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more bears than used to be, because they're coming into town, and when they come to town too, most of them get killed without any tags, nothing. When I was a little boy, they used to shoot as many as they can, but they all used everything. They used everything in those days. But nowadays it's most of it just, every time they shoot a bear, most of it just goes to waste. Most times nowadays, even the skin goes to waste nowadays, because nobody to clean it, nobody to take care of the skin, nobody to flush the skin. I've seen that in town here a couple of times, I guess, maybe more, that the polar bear hides were wasted. For myself, I guess we, if there was no quota and we could shoot anything we want, any much as we want, but I guess we kind of think the way I do it is because we don't really want to waste all the meat and on the skins, on the bear, because that's not the way my ancestors used to do it, because they never wasted nothing, not even a little, nothing. The skin, after the skin, flush the skin, even the fat on the skin, they used to all that. They used to cook it up, used to all that stuff for themselves and for the dogs. So, but nowadays it's, even if they take it home, sometimes it goes to like in a dump or wherever. Yeah, I guess we can't shoot too many because we can't use them all. Whatever we can use, we can shoot. The bears, the meat, take the whole meat, take the skin. We try not to waste so many if we can. Have to take care of the animals too, I guess, not to waste too many. If there was no tags, I'm pretty sure they'd be wiped out. And if there was no law, no nothing, I'm pretty sure the bears would be all wiped out.